Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. With immense pleasure, I welcome you all to our 826th Chennai Toastmasters meeting. The mission of every Toastmasters meeting is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience. In such a way, the members are empowered to improve their communication skills and leadership qualities, hence resulting in a greater personality growth and self-confidence. The members of Toastmasters are guided by a set of essential core values: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Before moving on to the meeting, I would like to brief upon certain rules which is to be followed. Kindly keep your mobile phones on silent mode. Do not talk about taboo topics such as politics, sex, and religion. Kindly sit in a silent atmosphere so that you can hear the speakers clearly. Kindly be on mute until it is your turn to speak. If you have any message to be shared or conveyed during the meeting, kindly use the chat box below. We strongly advise to have your videos turned on for a conveyable meeting experience. And also please rename yourself with a prefix saying TM for Toastmasters and a role played in the meeting. I hope everyone is all set and ready to get into the meeting. Now it's time to introduce our presiding officer. Today, our presiding officer is an electrical engineer by qualification and software engineer by profession. And he is working in Applied Materials India Private Limited for the past 17 years. He has been with Chennai Toastmasters meeting from 2014, and after 2 years of break, he was an active member from 2020. And he's a past VP PR, VPM, and current VPE, and he won the third place in Area C1 Humorous Speech Contest in 2021. Let's welcome Presiding Officer Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Sergeant Thomas, Toastmaster Vignesh, for the kind words. Good evening, Toastmasters and esteemed guests. I wish you all, the people with motherly nature, a very happy Mother's Day. I just want to start with a small story. Once a kindergarten kid decided to surprise his mom for her birthday. So he baked a cake all by himself and surprised his mom and made her cut the cake. Unfortunately, there was no candle. He just made a mom to cut the cake. And then the mom took the first bite of the cake. As she ate the cake, she felt the aroma and the texture all good, except for the taste. But however, she doesn't want to disappoint his son and she wants to appreciate his effort. Being a kindergarten kid, he was able to make a cake all by himself and was showing his love towards his mother. So she was eating the cake. At that time, she also asked, she appreciated and said, "How did you do this cake?" And the kid said, "Mom, I followed exactly what you do. And in addition to that, I added some toppings over it. But one thing I don't understand is that I kept few candles on the top of the cake, but when I took it out of the oven, those candles are missing. I don't know where it went, but don't worry, you keep eating." The mom understood the reason. She said, "I love your cake a lot. I want to eat all by myself. And I'll give you another new set of cakes." And that's the nature of any mother. And with this note, I welcome you all and formally declare open the meeting number 826 meeting. And today I would like to recognize the presence of our distinguished Toastmaster on the Area C4 Director, distinguished Toastmaster Venu Nilagandan. He will be joining us very soon and he will also be giving us an education session. And with that, let me move on to the, quickly let's get the guests introduced by themselves. So let me ask the guest to just introduce yourself now. Maybe we'll be asking your feedback by the end of the meeting. So let's start with the guest, Selvi. Guest Selvi, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm there. Good evening to all. Thanks for inviting me for this occasion. I'm from Velacheri and I have done my PhD in mathematics. But I have a low confidence in communication skill and leadership quality also. I have to improve that. That's why I'm here. I have attended 4 meetings. I was enjoyed a lot. Last meeting, I have seen many Toastmasters, 70 years. They are in this club, 17 years, 10 years. It was really inspiration for me. Soon I'm going to join this club.
Sure,
Thank you.
sure. Thank you, Sylvia. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
And guest Ramani Balasubramanian. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. Good evening to everyone. This is Ramani. I am completed BTech Information Technology. I am working in Chennai Polypack Private Limited Company in Executive Secretary, in the designation of Executive Secretary. We have one consultant. His name called Mr. Predarshi. He referred to join in Toastmaster and improve my communication skills and leadership quality. So I would like to join with you.
Thank you, Ramani.
Thank you.
Whoever has guided you is give the right guidance to you. So yes, please continue to attend our meeting.
Actually, for last 2 months, I am very struggled to find out that Zoom meeting, who organized that meeting. Last 2 days, I will search in Facebook. Find a number, Mr. Deepak Thompson's number. He only guide to me and add that group in the group.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And in a matter of time, so I would like to get back to all the guests by the end of the meeting. So with your feedback, so please do attend this meeting and give your feedback at the end of this meeting when I call you upon again. Let's move on to the next part. Where before beginning the actual formal meeting, I would request our Secretary Toastmaster Vignesh to provide us the report of our previous meeting. Toastmaster Vignesh is a hardware application engineer from Qualcomm and would like to explore something new and build new skills. So he's here to present our secretary report of our previous meeting. Toastmaster Vignesh, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi, for warm words. Welcome. Let me share my screen. Last week, we had a 825th milestone meeting. So it happened on 1st May and it was a hybrid meet. And the theme was also 825th milestone meeting. So we have quite a high number of attendees. And Toastmaster of the day was where Toastmaster and Lakshmi, 2 Toastmasters we have. And they explained the CTM journey and when it is formed. And they shared their experience about their initial days and about Toastmasters. And we have few addresses from area director, club growth director, and program quality director, district director. And we had 2 prepared speakers. The first speaker is distinguished Toastmaster Venu, and he shared his pathway experience in the 5th project of motivational strategy. The title is Landing to Take Up. And the second speaker is Toastmaster Mahendra Bharati. His title is Take Up Tag Roles, and it is a 3rd level project 1 speech on the presentation mastery. And he insisted everyone to take tag roles. That was a very good speech. And next, Toastmaster Vishnu conducted the interesting game session where the Joker hijacked everyone and set the bomb. And who reveals the puzzle answer can defuse the bomb. It was a very intriguing game. And keynote speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Sridhar Ranganathan, shared his Toastmasters journey and how Toastmasters shaped people in all areas. It was a very interesting speech. And Toastmaster Abhilash conducted the debate session on the social media is improving communication topic. And with the keynote and with the thank you note with the Deepak Thompson, the meeting was adjourned. Thank you. Over to you, Presiding Officer Lakshmi.
And thank you, Toastmaster Vignesh. Now it's time to begin the meeting. Today we have our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abhirami Ayyappan. Toastmaster Abhirami is a chartered accountant and was working in Barclays. She has a past VP membership, past VP education, and current president of Chennai Toastmasters Club. She is a winner of our ISC contest for Division C as well. And she has a very interesting theme today, the ever-evolving mother. Toastmaster Abhirami, the stage is all yours. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi, for those warm words of introduction. Mothers are God's angels on earth. A very happy Mother's Day to all the angels here. And also please convey my regards to all your mothers out there. Now, why do we celebrate Mother's Day? Any one of you, please unmute and give your thoughts. Why do we celebrate Mother's Day?
To show our gratitude.
Show our gratitude. That's a great point, Toastmaster Lakshmi. So why are we thankful to our mothers? Why are they so important? Especially in our country, mother plays a very, very pivotal role. There are many roles, right? Many relationships where you have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a friend, uncle, aunt, everyone. But mother seems to be like a center, just like the sun in that solar system. Why is that? Okay, so I will tell you why a mother plays a very crucial role. Any relationship is based on expectations. Won't you agree? There is always something that we expect from the other person. But it is only in this relationship between a mother and a child, the mother sees this relationship without any expectations. It is a selfless love that every child gets from their mother. Now, when God decided to create babies, so he always did the segregation of duty. God is also like a CEO, right? He will not give the same job to every person. So he said that it will be the mother who will carry the baby and deliver the baby. Now, carrying a baby and delivering it is not a small thing. It's a life-changing event in every woman's life. It changes her body. From size 0, she becomes size 100. And to get back, you need to do a lot of effort. There is not just a change in the body, but there is also a change in the mind. There are a lot of emotional changes that a mother undergoes. Also, the first few years, the baby is always eating, sleeping, and potty. So the mothers need to be geared up, sleeping 3 hours every day. You cannot sleep for a continuous 8 hours. I'm sure those of you who had kids or who've seen your cousins having kids will know this story of like fire in the mountain, run, all through till the kid goes to school. Appa, thrown into pre-KG. Now I'll have little time to relax. So this is the story of every mother. Now, in today's meeting, we will see how motherhood kind of evolved all through, right from the earlier years to today, hand in hand with technology and other things. Now, for the guests, I know there are many guests today. Every Toastmaster meeting is a very structured meeting. We have different roles throughout the meeting. So I will be the anchor or the MC for the meeting, and I'll invite all the role players. And the first segment will be the one which will be conducted by the general evaluator, where he will be explaining the role that he will perform and that of his team. Now for that, we have a very veteran Toastmaster, Toastmaster Srikanth Krishnan. To say a few words about Toastmaster Srikanth, he works in the Indian Railways. And to describe him, he is a corporate trainer and a spiritual aspirant. You can see it in his background. And when I asked Toastmaster Srikanth about something that he learned from his mother, he said self-determination, where you will never give up even in the most toughest times. So now it is time to hear from our general evaluator, Toastmaster Srikanth Krishnan. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. You are leaving me with a very emotional theme, Mother's Day. It's something that is very close and dear to me because I always keep saying, all that I am and all that I hope to be, I owe it to my mother. And she has been the general evaluator of my life till this very day and very second. God bless her, and she's with me right now. Probably towards the end, maybe I can introduce her to all of you who are present here. Now that I've said my mother is a general evaluator, today I'm going to step into her shoes to be the general evaluator of today's meeting. Right from the word go, when the Sergeant at Arms has started the meeting, till the very end, I would be watching the entire proceeding taking down notes of where we have done outstandingly well. And for CTM, it is always a benchmark to be an excellence in Toastmasters meeting. And also, I will be looking into areas where we can improve upon so that our meeting from here becomes better the next week and we go on through this journey. General evaluation is a part of the growth story for each and every one of you who are present here as Toastmaster and those who aspire to be a Toastmaster. Your growth begins with every Toastmasters meeting, and the inputs and feedback that you get from the general evaluator and my team is something that you will carry forward towards your next meeting and also in your life. You grow as an individual holistically and also in every aspect of your life. To do my job, a very important team is necessary who's going to help me with all the inputs that is required to make this meeting and my general evaluation the most successful and most profound feedback that we as a team can give you and make you a better person, a better leader, and a better communicator. To begin with, I have a team which in short is called as the TAG team, T-A-G, which stands for Timer, Accounter, and the Grammarian. Three powerful individuals who are going to take up these roles. And I will be calling the Timer first, who's going to explain to you what are the aspects that is being looked into as a timer. As we know, time and tide waits no man. Here, to play the timer's role, we have a very senior Toastmaster. You have seen him just before we started the official meeting, before the Toastmaster of the day came. It was our presiding officer, Toastmaster Lakshmi who's taken up the role as the timer. I request Toastmaster Lakshmi to please explain to us what his role and what his idea of being a timer in today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Lakshmi.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Shrikant Krishnan. Good evening once again, Toastmasters and guests. Today, I'll also take up a role as a timer, where as a timer, I'll note down the time taken by each speaker, including the table topic speaker, prepared speaker, and even the education session. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote the specific times remaining. For example, for the prepared speech today, the time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. Then at the minimum time of 5 minutes, I will raise the green card as I'm going to show now. And for the intermediate time of 6 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card. And for the 7 minutes, I'll show the red card. And you'll be given a 30 seconds extra time to wind up your speech with the proper begin, body, and end. Just in case, if a speaker is sharing a presentation, then I may not be able to share the slides, but I will be showing you, sending you a message through the chat box. And also, I will change my background as I'm going to show you now quickly for your reference. So I'll be showing the background just in case if you are changing it. It will be start, the green, the yellow, and the red. So I'll also make note of the time taken by each speaker and record it. And I will, once called upon by the general evaluator, I will forward the report. Thank you, and over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. You just heard the timer explain his roles and responsibility. The next in my team is going to be the R-counter, again being played by a very professional speaker and who is also a trainer. To do the R-counter's role today, I request Toastmaster Geeta to please explain her roles as an R-counter and tell us what she would be looking into during today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Geeta.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shrikant. And good evening to one and all present here. I'm the R-counter for today's meeting, and it's my responsibility to make sure that your speech is very clear. In short, I will be noting down all the words that you might use as filler words. Words like you know, I mean, they all distract the listeners from what exactly you're trying to convey. And I will also make a note of the inappropriate pauses that might come in your way in your speeches. I will be back again to give you a detailed report when I'm called back again by the general evaluator. Over to you, Toastmaster Shrikant.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Geeta. Next comes the grammarian, very important role. It's being played by Toastmaster Ashwini, a very promising Toastmaster. I've seen her grow from a newbie to becoming a very seasoned and a professional speaker. I request Toastmaster Ashwini to tell us what her role as a grammarian would be during today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashwini.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Srikanth Kuttikrishnan, for such a warm introduction. So as a grammarian today, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, and I will listen carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any misuses of English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word of the day is nurture, which means to care for or to protect someone or something while they are growing. The example of using the word is both the parents as well as school should nurture a child's intellect. I'll give you other common usage. In Chennai Toastmasters, apart from learning communication and leadership qualities, we always nurture friendship amongst one another. Don't you all agree with me, fellow Toastmasters? Yes. Yeah. And being Mother's Day today, I would also use the word of the day in one of the sentence. This Mother's Day, let's all take some time to thank our mother for providing a comforting and nurturing environment throughout our childhood days. Yeah. Thank you. And back to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Srikanth Kuttikrishnan.
Thank you very much, Grammarian Toastmaster Ashwini. Well, we heard the grammarian, and she's going to nurture us today how we can improve on our English language and where we need to be very cautious how we pronounce the words. That's the role that is being played by the grammarian. And that's it from me. I'm going to take the backstage. I'm going to have my ears and eyes wide open, listening to the entire speech and all the things that is going to happen during the next time till around 6 p.m. Until then, enjoy the meeting and stay focused. You could be one among the table topic speakers that the TT Master can call you. Thank you very much. And back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abhirami. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator Srikanth Kuttikrishnan. I could relate when you said your mother is like a general evaluator. I just had the same thought in my mind. For example, when I told her today, I asked my cook to make idli. The first, she'll give me a suggestion. How did you do that? You could have done it better. So always the role of a mother, especially in things that we do, taking care of home or cooking or the way we manage life, the first role that they will have will be that of a general evaluator, and that was very well said. Now coming back to the theme for today. Now let's talk about our grandmothers. When I say our grandmothers, the mothers of that generation, where women were not really educated as much as the men, and they got married quite early in their life. So what are some things that you would tell about your grandmother? So let me ask the audience. Anyone please unmute and you can say a few words. Toastmaster Gandhi, something seems to be going on in your mind about your grandmother. Please.
Thank you very much for calling my name Chiamori. Yes, our grandmothers, I would say they have struggled a lot and they do not have the exposure the current generation had. And they have been locked in 4 walls, continue to with their routine, cooking, serving, always care about the family. So yes, I really feel sorry for my grandmother. She didn't enjoy what we are enjoying right now. So I just want to take this moment to thank her. And thanks for this opportunity, Abhirami.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gandhi. Would anyone like to give a try to say a few words about your grandmother? Toastmaster Geeta?
Yes, Toastmaster Abhirami. So this reminds me of my grandmother, who was a minimalist. She had everything that she could afford to, because at the end of the day, her sons were doing so much better. But then she made sure that, she dedicate her life for the family. Like how Toastmaster Gandhi said, they only wanted family to flourish. They did everything they could do. In fact, I'm reminded of one incident. So in ours, they grate the mangoes and they make a pickle of the grated mangoes. So these mangoes are tied in this small pieces of cloth. And even for that, she used to use her sari. So that's how they were minimalist. They knew how to save. They knew how to go about, like maybe if they see us wasting so many things, they'd be a shock for them, a shock of life for them. They knew how to carry forward all of this without troubling themselves. That was really wonderful on their part.
True. Very, very well said, Toastmaster Geeta. These are some things where the women at that time got married early. They were not educated, but they were very good and efficient in whatever they did. They knew to manage the family even with whatever limited amount of resources they had. And moreover, everyone, you won't ask them whether you like the food that your mother makes or your grandmother makes. Standard answer, grandmother. I don't know what magic is there. It is one answer that I get from all my friends. Now, it's time to move on to the next segment. Now, all of you here, especially the guests, if you observe, we call all the members as Toastmaster, even for the new joiner members. But only a few Toastmasters are called Distinguished Toastmaster. Now, what makes these Toastmasters distinguished? What made them special? Did they do something that made them special? Now, to know those answers, we have an educational session. Now, all Toastmasters, especially those of us who are on that path to get into that next level, it's time to hear and understand why we should become a DTM, or how it will help, what are the steps. And for all this, we have our veteran Toastmaster, Distinguished Toastmaster Venu Nilakandan, to say a few words about him. This man has many achievements under his belt, which is a very big list. So I'm cutting it short and making it crisp here. So he's a Toastmaster for 7 years. He's been the past president of Chennai Toastmasters Club. And he has won the prestigious Toastmaster Educational Awards of Advanced Communication Gold Award and the Leadership Excellence Award. So on this note, I request Distinguished Toastmaster Venu Nilakandan onto the stage. Over to you.
Thank you, TMOD Abdulami, Toastmaster Abdulami. Good evening, Ananda. Everyone was talking about how a mother is struggling to deliver a baby, right? Toastmaster of the day talked about how to deliver the pain in delivering a baby, and General Evaluator Toastmaster Srikanth was talking about, and Marian was talking about how mothers are struggling to deliver a baby. Today, I'm not going to talk about how to deliver a baby and the pain in delivering a baby. Instead, I'm going to talk about how a speaker is struggling to deliver a speech. That's our motto today. Because somebody says that around 57 till a woman feels the pain, the unit of pain while delivering a speech. Can anyone say how much the unit of pain when delivering a speech, the first time speech? It's, yeah, you can't say that. It's beyond your imagination. Because I experienced when I deliver my first ever speech, my mentor was saying like a husband, push it, push it. I was pushing, but I not deliver even the air was coming. It was almost like cesarean. I did not deliver my first speech properly. So most of us are having this problem, right? So we want, why you join Toastmaster? Many would say that I want to become a competent speaker, or I want to become a good communicator without any stage fear. That's what we join, right? The first and foremost thing, how many of you are new to Toastmaster? Most of you, right? And how many of you want to come out of that or get rid of the stage fear? You can show the symbol on, yeah. And the first and foremost thing to get rid of your stage fear is you have to come out of your comfort zone. You should switch on your video. Don't hide behind the camera. So switch on your video so that you will face the real audience. So that's the first step to get rid of your stage fear. Anyway, let me share my screen first. Thank you. Yes, as Toastmaster Abdulami said, we are all Toastmaster. Once you join Toastmaster, everyone is Toastmaster. But to become a DTM, it's not easy. It's almost getting a PhD. Just enrolling for, you have to complete UG, PG. After that, you have to submit some thesis and you have to do a lot of research like that. You have to do a lot of projects to become a DTM. So today we are going to see the step-by-step guide to get your GTM. And this is a roadmap for your GTM. You are a new member. Once you join Toastmaster, you are a new member here, and you need to complete minimum 2 pathways. Here, 2 pathways you have to complete. After that, you have to complete some club role for 12 months. And next, it's a district office 1 year, and club mentor, club coach, and club sponsor or speech club, something you have to complete. After that, you have to complete a DTM project, and you will get a DTM title along with this certificate. Now, many of you started thinking that, what is this? I cannot understand anything, right? So don't worry, we will see one by one. The first and foremost steps after joining Toastmaster, you have to first enroll yourself and you have to log in your TMI website. The moment you enroll and once you are the vice president membership, register your name in Toastmaster or the club roster, you will get an email from Toastmaster International stating your membership ID and the password. Suppose you have not received your password, this is the way you have to log in. Toastmasters.org login. Here you have to enter your email ID. After password, if you don't know your password, you can first timer. Those who are the first timer, please click here. Suppose you forget your password, you can forget password. You will get the password to your registered email. Once you did that, this page we will this page. This is your name will come here. After that, just click that part, your name. Then there are around 11 pathways are there, 11 pathways. Out of 11 pathways, you have to choose the first one because the first pathway is free and second pathway you have to purchase. And you can complete as much as you want. Whatever how many projects or pathways you want, you can complete. There's no restriction. But for the DTM, minimum you have to complete 2 pathways. That's a requirement for the DTM. And here, once login, here how many pathways you have enrolled, you will see that, and which club you belong. Suppose if you are a dual member, you can choose your clubs here. So that DCP points and all will that particular club will get the credit for that. And next main important thing is you have to choose your path. Out of the 11 paths, you have to choose your path. Here, many of us are struggling. By clicking here, you will go to here. You can choose your path. How you can choose your path? Either you can go by taking an assessment test. They will ask some questions, and based on your response, they will suggest that website will suggest around 3 pathways, and out of 3 you can choose, but there is no compulsion that you have to choose out of the 3 only. So if you want to go another path, you can choose. There is nobody is going to stop you. But before choosing a path, you have to understand a few things. All the 11 paths are developed based on these 5 core skills, 5 core competencies. That was, one is public speaking, another one is interpersonal communication, and another one is strategic leadership, and next one is management and confidence. Based on these 5 core skills, which core skills, what are the skills you want to develop? Based on that, you can choose your pathways. For example, the dynamic leadership, it covers public speaking, interpersonal skills, strategic leadership, and confidence. It doesn't cover management aspects. If you are going for effective coaching, it will cover 1, 2, 4, 5. It doesn't focus on strategic leadership. If you are taking care of the presentation mastery here, only 1 and 5, public speaking and confidence, and it doesn't take care of leadership or management or interpersonal skills. So what competency you want to develop? Based on that, you can, somebody will be a good leader. They don't want to bother about their leadership skill or something. They want to develop their communication skills. So just go for the presentation mastery. If your main goal is just develop your communication skill, directly go. Okay, go to presentation mastery, because it's will focus on only the communication angle. No other way. No leadership project. Only communication. How to be good at communication. That's so.
Venu sir, sorry to interrupt. Your mic, there seems to be some little disturbance. If you could just fix it again. There is some sound of the fan or something is coming. Not sure.
Okay, I will check. Sorry. Is it okay now? Still you have the
mildly. When you speak continuously, it comes like breathing noise.
Okay. So
okay,
give me a minute. I will switch off my. I think now it's okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Everything went wrong. Yeah. Based on the 5 core skills, you can choose which core skills you want to develop. Based on that, you can choose the pathways, the particular path. Once you choose the pathways, you can simply click this enroll path. If you have enrolled only one path, there will be only one enrolled path. So you can just click the one enrolled path. There you will see that enrolled path. Here, simply clicking open curriculum, you will go to the next page. This is the first page. And here, the first ever speech is icebreaker. It's all about you. The first level. There are 5 levels in every pathway. Every path, there are 5 levels and 14 projects. That doesn't mean that you have to deliver only 14 speeches. No, some projects may have more than 2 speeches. So based on that, it would be more than 15 or sometimes 16, sometimes 18, sometimes 20 speeches you may deliver. So depends on that, depends on your pathways you are going to choose. That speeches, the number of speeches may vary. So out of the 5 levels, first level one is called the presentation mastery. From those who join after October, that there is a small change in the first level, because earlier it was like that icebreaker, evaluation, feedback, and research and presentation. Now they have added another 2. That's one is called speak with purpose. Another one is body language. And they have removed this research and presentation from the first level. Now it is available in as an elective project in level 3. So every project is very important. First one is all about you. So you have to first activate the first speech. Once you activate it, you need to launch it. Once you launch, you will get the project details of icebreaker. You have to go through every details of this icebreakers project, and you can even download in PDF format. And one more important thing you have to do every project is you have to assess before you start giving your speech. First, you have to do the assessment about your skill. There are 2 kinds of assessment. One is before your speech and after your speech. So before delivering your speech, you have to assess your skill, and they will ask some questions. You have to just mark it, 5 or 6, whatever way you want to mark it. And after that, you have to deliver the speeches, and your evaluator will give some feedback. And after that, you have to again go to this project, and you have to assess your skills after that. So this is the assessment way, project, post-project also you have to assess. And you can check what improvement you have gained. And after completion of, sorry, I will switch off. Please bear with this sound. because I don't have AC at this room. Sorry for that. Yes. Once you complete the icebreaker, you can go to the next project. So please keep it in mind, for completion of project, you don't require any approval from the VPE. But completion of level, you need a level completion from your VPE. Please keep it in mind. So like that, you can complete every project one by one. You can complete every project. Once you complete your project, you'll get a tick mark for against the particular project. Once you complete the entire project in the level, you can just mark completion. That mark complete your level. And that doesn't mean you complete that project. Your VPE has to approve it. Then only you will get that completion certificate. So this is a level 1. As I said, there are 5 levels, and keep in mind that this is a new module, and first one is icebreaker, and next one is writing a speech with purpose, and introduction to vocal variety and body language, and values and feedback. See, for example, this project, you have to this level, you have to complete level icebreaker 1 speech, and next writing a speech with purpose 2 speech, and introduction to vocal variety and body language another speech. And for the evaluation and feedback, you are supposed to deliver 2 speeches and 1 evaluation. For example, first you have to deliver 1 speech. Your evaluator will give some feedback. Based on that feedback, you have to incorporate those feedback, and you have to repeat the same speech, incorporating the evaluation, or you can deliver another speech, but you have to incorporate whatever the feedbacks given by your evaluator. That's a main objective, and you need to give evaluation to another speaker also. That level 1 and level 2 also. There from level 2 onwards, the project will vary depending upon the pathways. For example, for one path, it might be understanding your leadership style or understanding your communication style, or some other project, it would be different, active listening or some other things. So, but keep it in mind that when you are going through a particular project, please read everything. Please stick on the project objectives, because for example, here, the understanding your leadership style, most of us, what we are doing that without going through the project, what we do that we simply Google it. What's the different kinds of leadership? And from there, generic view you are taking from there, here and there, and from some management book, we are going to deliver a speech. That's not the way we are delivering here. The purpose of this project is mainly to know your leadership style exactly. After, they will give around 42 questionnaires for this project. You have to give your reply to that particular questions, and based on your responses, they would suggest out of the 4 leadership style, which leadership style you have the primary as a primary leadership style. Which is a good opportunity to assess yourself, self-analyze. Suppose if you want to change your leadership at this point of time, you can change it, because sometimes it may affect your life. That kind of the same manner, the communication style also, they will ask around 12 questionnaires. Based on your responses, they would suggest which is the primary communication style, and you can analyze it whether it's required for me or I have to change my communication, because it's all based on your responses. And level 3 onwards is a core subject, means it's based on your pathways. Suppose if it is a effective coaching, it would be about coaching. If it is about, if your pathway is motivational strategy, it would be about something about motivation. For example, that effective coaching and all, you have to do some project. And from this level onwards, you are not only going to deliver speech, you have to complete some project also. For example, level 3 in effective coaching, you are supposed to coach for 2 to 3 weeks. You have to coach an individual for some times. So after that, you have to share your experience, how that coaching was, what you learned from coaching somebody else. For another example, I would give that motivational strategy. Here you have to maintain a journal for 2 to 3 weeks about how your emotions are affecting others, or others' emotions are affecting. You have to take note of every day. You have to maintain that journals, and at last you have to deliver a project. This is all about the level 3. And apart from the main project, here around 14 elective projects you will have at the level 3. You need not deliver all the 14 elective projects, but nobody is going to stop you. If you want, you can deliver all the 14 elective projects. But for the requirement minimum, you have to deliver 2 elective projects. That might be storytelling or about voice modulation or about research and presentation, anything. Around 14 projects you need to deliver 2 projects also here, elective project. And once you complete 1 main project and 2 electives, you are completing level 3. So you are moving to the next level after getting approval from your PPE and building skills. That's the next level. Here again, based on this pathway, you will get a different project. Here also you have to, mostly you will have a project. Other than presentation master, most of other pathways you will have a project, because it's all focusing about leadership and strategic management or strategic thinking, planning and everything. So you may have some project. Some project may demand, before the project, you have to deliver a speech about vision and mission statement about the project. After completion of that particular project, you have to deliver again that about the project. And once you complete here the main project, and again 1 elective project around 20 minutes, or a lot of elective projects we will have around 8 projects. It might be a dealing with the difficult audience or speak professionally, anything. You will have around, you have to speak around 18 minute speeches and all you have to deliver. So it's a good opportunity to learn or hone your skill to speak up to 18 seconds, so 18 minutes. That's a really experienced speaker can only do that. So once you complete the main project as well as 1 elective, you are going to the next level. That's called level 5, the demonstrating your expertise. Here also you are going to deliver, or sometimes you, based on the pathway, you have to complete your project. Some project here are HPL, high performance leadership. Here you, for example, high performance leadership is all about you have to complete your project. Project might be you can conduct an event. Before that event, you can deliver a speech about what you are going to do through this event. And after completing that event, you are going to you need sometimes guidance committee. Around 3%, they will guide you throughout the project. Some project may take around 3 months or 6 months. So based on that, your pathway, you can choose that particular project. And again, you have to complete 1 elective project here. So once you complete the 1 main project and 1 elective here, you are level 5. You complete the level 5. After completion of all the levels, up to 5 levels, you need to reflect on your part. That's called what you learn throughout the project. That's you have to deliver a speech for 5 to 7 minutes. That's a once you complete that, you will get a certificate. You complete the first level, 1 pathway. So you need to, as I said, that you have to go through every details about the project, because it will give you every clear. Sometimes they will give some activities. For example, it's a level 2, level 1, and speak with a purpose. Here they are giving some activities. Please do these activities. Then only you will know what exactly this project is, because it's not about just for the sake of completion of particular project. If you are delivering it, you are not going to gain anything. You have to do every activities, and you have to follow whatever they are saying about this project. You have to do it. Then only you can claim yourself as a competent speaker, and you can claim I have completed this pathway. Otherwise, if you are just for the sake of completion, you're not going to gain anything. You just will get maybe you will get a certificate, but nobody is going to question you. You have to question yourself. No, you are not cheating anybody. You are cheating yourself. So keep it in mind. Go through the entire project and follow exactly what they say. And once you complete the first path, is the tick mark for your DTM checklist, and you complete a first part, tick 1. Next, choose the second part. The same thing you have to repeat. Now you have to purchase the part. The first part only, that's at free of cost. Second part you have to buy. So the same thing you have to repeat, and you will get another part, and you have to start right from the level 1 with icebreaker. Once you complete the same thing, second part also, you can go next. Thing, that's serve as a club officer. But you need not wait to complete up. You need not wait to play the club officer till you complete the level two pathways. You can do it after 6 months. After joining 6 months itself, you can take the role of some surgeon at arms, some roles, some club roles, or these are the around 7 club roles we are having in at club. And you need to play these roles for minimum 12 months. In CTM and other clubs, we have only 6 months roles. Some other clubs, they have the annual role play. It means up to 1 year they will be president. But here we have 6 months, so you can take more than one roles. For example, after 6 months, whenever we are conducting the executive committee election, you can nominate yourself for any of out of 7 any roles you can do it. But my suggestion is when you are going to take the first time when you are going to take the ExCom role, first go for from the below surgeon at arms, because that's the way you can learn. You can straight away you can nominate for the president. Nobody is going to stop you. But whether they are going to elect you or not, that's a different. But nobody is going to stop you. But my suggestion is go from the surgeon at arms. That's the way you can learn the basic structure of this club and ExCom role and responsibility. Once you complete 2 roles, twice the means one time you can be a surgeon at arms and next time you can be a secretary. Then you are fulfilling the requirement for the GTM, 12 months club officer role. So that's also completed. And next, serve as a club mentor or a club coach. What is club mentor and club coach? That's a very important. Here, so far you have been in club, within the club. It's in your comfort zone. Now you are so familiar with your club members and you are supporting your clubs. Now it's time to break the shell. Go out of your shell. Go out of your comfort zone. Now you are being an experienced Toastmaster after completion of 1 level or 2 levels after 2 years or 3 years. Now it's a good opportunity, or it's a good time to extend your support to other clubs. Some clubs may suffer because of some lack of leadership or some guidance or lack of experience. Some clubs may be suffering. So you can extend your support. How you can support as a club coach? A club coach is a Toastmaster who is assigned to help a struggling club get back on its feet. Minimum that few requirement is there that club should not have more than 12 members. If the club has more than 12 members, that club is not entitled to have a club coach. And you should not be a member of that particular club. That's also important. So there are some requirements to fulfill the club coach, something called DCP points that you will learn once you are playing the VP or president role. That requirement we have to that particular club that you are going to be assigned as a club coach should fulfill within a year. Toastmaster year. Toastmaster year starts 1st July and ends on 30th June. So that's a 1 year. Within 1 year, you have to make that club achieve all the DCP points and select. It should be a select distinguished club. And also you have to show minimum net growth of five members or 20 total overall 20 members. That club strength. So either if it is below 20, you have to show from the base level. Base level means previous Toastmaster year, what's the strength? That for example, if it is as 14, now you have to make it's a 19 members at the end of the day. So that and all you will learn after completion of 1 or 2 levels. That's a club coach. So you need not bother those who are so new to Toastmaster, not bother about the club coach as of now. Those who are already completed level 1 and who are looking for club coach, please take care of club coach. This is the right time to take the club coach. Or another easiest way is club mentor. What is club mentor is, for club coach, you have to fulfill some requirement and you have to achieve some goals. For club mentor, you don't require any goals or requirement. You have to support a club, the newly chartered club. So you can, it's easy task. Rather compared to club coach, club mentor is an easy way. So you can, if any new clubs, they want some support, you can be a club mentor for minimum 6 months, 6 months to 1 year. Once you, minimum 6 months, you are supporting that club, you will get the credit for club mentor. So you don't require the club coach. So it's up to you. Whatever the opportunity you are getting, you can fulfill that. Now, club coach is also over. Next one, serve as a district officer for 1 year. There are district officer roles like we have at club level. So beyond out of club, we have area, division, and district. And for that, we have around a lot of club roles at district levels. The first one is called a district director, program quality director, club director. This is called club district trio. And next, a public relation officer, administrative manager, finance manager, division director, or area director. So these are the roles you can play for 1 year. Once you complete the 1 year tenure as a division director, you will get a credit for the DTM requirement also. So that's also claimed. And next, serve as a club sponsor or a conduct a speechcraft or youth leadership program. What is a club sponsor? Suppose if you want to start a new club, so you can start a new club, or suppose somebody is starting a new club, they want your expertise, your experience, you can support them as a club sponsor. Like you can file that, you can charter the club, you can extend your experience, and you can add new members. So entire responsibility will be on you to start a new club. That's called club sponsor. If you don't want to spend such a long time, and you can conduct a speechcraft. What is speechcraft? Speechcraft is it's almost an 8 weeks program we are conducting. So some clubs are conducting to non-Toastmasters. You can conduct a speechcraft for any organization or any individuals. And now it is a very good opportunity. Chennai Toastmaster is frequently conducting a lot of speechcraft, so you will get an easy opportunity. Now it's an online portal also. Again, it's a good opportunity because every 5 individuals, we can get 1 credit for this speech. So it's easy. It's not a big challenge. So if you are once you complete the 2 levels, 2 pathways, and or 1 pathways, if you want a speechcraft, you can contact me or XCOM. They will support you for a speechcraft. Also, we are conducting a lot of youth leadership programs. Also, there also you can be a coordinator. By doing that coordinator roles for speechcraft or youth leadership, you can get the credit. And finally, it's all about our DTM capstone project. Once you complete level first path you completed, and now you are in the next 2nd path. Once you complete the 3rd level of 2nd path, you can write to TMI, Toastmaster International, that I completed level 3 in 2nd pathways. Now my DTM capstone project may be activated. So they will activate once they will ensure and you completed level 3 in 2nd pathways. Not the first way, 2nd pathways. Now they will activate your DTM capstone project. Once they TMA activated the DTM capstone project in your base camp, you have to conduct, again, it's almost like a HPL project. You need to organize your project, and you should be the leader, the team leader, and you have to complete. There can be a lot of members, the team members, but you should conduct. You are the leading performers, and before organizing the project, you have to deliver a speech 5 to 7 minutes about how you are going to conduct this speech and the project, and how you are going to develop the team and design the plan, and all about your project vision, mission, and you are going to share everything through the 5 to 7 minutes. Once you completed the project, you are getting a 360-degree evaluation from your leadership skills from your team members. After that, you have to deliver 8 to 10 minutes speech, how successful this project is. And you can share all your experience, what are things you learned in this project. This is a capstone project. Once you complete that, you will get DTM. Provided you have played the club officers roles for 1 year, district officer for 1 year, you have completed your club coach or club mentor, and you have speechcraft, you played the role of coordinator for the speechcraft or YLP or the club sponsor. So you did everything, you are entitled to get DTM. So you will be called as a DTM. So any doubt or any question you have, you can ask me.
Yes, Renu. So this is Madhu here. So I have a question like, as you mentioned, right, the three pathways we need to choose that, right? So do you have any timeline to complete this project?
For the pathway, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's no, that's a thing. It's a self-space. It's all self-motivated. You have to, it's all about you. There's no timeline. Once you enroll your space, pathways, once you activated your pathway, there's no timeline. You can take as much as you want. But what I suggest, please complete the pathway within maximum within 2 years, because if you are taking more than 2 years, you are just wasting your time. That's what I suggest, because every month you have to deliver minimum one speech so that you can complete your entire path within 2 years. There's no requirement of 2 years. I'm talking about maximum 2 years. So it's up to you, but nobody is going to question you, even if you are going to take 5 years or 10 years, or you are not at all delivering. Other than your mentor, nobody is going to question you.
Yeah, great. So which means we need to set the timeline from ourselves, right, to achieve the target, right? Okay.
That's correct. Yeah. I think time is over, right? So yeah, thank you. So I'm sorry, I don't think I have much time to answer your question. You can ask me personally. I'm ready to help you. But now, thank you for the opportunity, and I hand over the stage back to Toastmaster Aniru. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Vedanita Kandan. It was a very quick brief of the various steps that each of us will take on our journey to the distinguished Toastmaster path. Now, for all the new Toastmasters who are attending this meeting for the first day, the VP Education will give you a detailed session regarding the pathways on how you can pick and choose. So they will have another session. I know too much on one day is sometimes you will not be able to grasp it. So the VP Education will help you on that piece. Now, moving on to the next segment. So prepared speeches is one of the most important element of a Toastmaster meeting. Now, for those of the guests or new members who ask me, what is a prepared speech? If you just recollect what detailed menu showed in the pathway is broken into speeches. You have so many activities, right? Like projects, speeches and all. Each of it will help you gain a skill to go upon your leadership journey or communication journey. It's all broken into small pieces and puzzles. Now, today we'll have one prepared speaker presenting a speech that he has prepared. So it's already written, practiced, and the mentor is reviewed, and then he'll be delivering it. That is why it is called the prepared speech. For this, we have Toastmaster Aniru. So Toastmaster Aniru, to say a few words about him, he's a college student. He's studying in SNU college in Chennai. When I asked him about one thing that he learned from his mother, he says that his mother is very supportive, and it is she who makes him dream big. I'm sure most of us would agree with that piece. Now, before I call upon Toastmaster Aniru onto the stage, I'll request his evaluator, Toastmaster Vignesh, to read out the speech objectives.
Yes, thank you, Brahmi. Toastmaster Aniru is delivering his third speech in his level on the path presentation mastery. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance a speech. The allotted time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Aniru. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Abhirami.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vignesh. So now let's hear from our speaker for today, Toastmaster Aniru. The re-examination. Toastmaster Aniru.
Am I audible?
Yes.
The re-examination. Examinations are formidable even for the best prepared. For the greatest fool can ask more than what the best prepared can answer. So my dear fellow friends, let me enrich this evening with a really nice incident that happened to me last month. Last month, I was preparing a lot for my upcoming mid-semester examinations. I was learning my lessons very sincerely and went on. But then, 2 weeks before my exams, I contracted the novel coronavirus, and thus I was in home quarantine. It was only because of my self-will and the nurturing that my mother gave me, that I overcame the virus and started going back to college with 1 week left. So I had already missed 1 week's lessons, and I had to learn the next week's lessons together. I was so stressed out. I lost my sleep. I learned my lessons a lot. I practiced many sums. I learned all the diagrams perseverantly, and my examinations slowly came. My examinations, I have six papers, and out of them, all of them came one after the other. In that, my arch nemesis was this one called computer organization. In my perspective, it is a very dry paper. There is too much theory to learn, too many diagrams to practice, too many definitions to remember, and the list goes on. So you understand how I always used to feel to that paper. Just that one day before that exam, I was stressed out a lot. I didn't sleep at all. On the D-Day, I slowly went into my examination hall. I was praying to God so that the paper would be easy. I received the paper and I started reading the questions and answering them. The first question was very easy. I answered it immediately. The second was also even more simpler. The third, fourth, and fifth followed suit. I was so happy. I was so relieved. I felt that I was the king of computer organization. I would just finish this paper in 20 minutes and leave the hall in style. But then my teacher had other plans in mind. The next question was a 5-mark question. Discuss with an example, input-output of a computer with diagrams. My mind went blank. I don't know where to start. I didn't know where to begin. I didn't even remember reading the topic. I thought for some time and I felt, okay, you answered 5 marks already. Another 5 marks, it won't make much of a difference. Answer the remaining 40 questions and then leave the room. The next question, explain the processor of a computer with diagrams. Blank again. I realized I reached a dead end. It seemed very hollow inside. I thought and finally I decided, okay, come down from the heaven to earth and then think, go with a different perspective. The next question was a 10-mark question. My teacher couldn't have said it even more simpler. After 20 minutes of writing that one question, I was so optimistic to get 2 out of 10. The paper went on the same way. And in the end, I knew for sure that I did not know at least for 30 marks out of the paper. I was just reminiscing on what new computer theory that my miss was going to learn. She could write a PhD with the new entire diagrams I have written. I was very depressed that day. One good thing was my entire mates, they were all in the same boat. None of us knew how to attempt this paper at all. And that day, we spent the day in a lot of depression. We were just Googling what to do as a computer science dropout. It went like that. But that evening, I received a mail that was going to change everything. It said, dear student, the computer organization paper that was held today is going to be reheld next week. All the best. I was so happy. I was in 7th heaven. I had a fighting chance again. And my dear friends, do you know the reason why that paper was reheld? Not because we did not do it properly, not because most of us flunked that paper. My faculty actually forgot to set a question paper for us. You see, in my college, there are 2 computer science groups, IoT and AIDS. They set a paper for the IoT group and they forgot to set a paper for my group AIDS. And so we got the paper for IoT instead. I should have known that something was amiss when I received a paper for IoT. But I didn't think about that and started reading the paper itself. So that day, I learned 3 important things in life. Firstly, just because you're flunking one exam does not mean your entire life is gone. There are still many more things you can come. God will always give you a chance to overcome it. Number 2, your teachers do not wish you to fail. They want to see you up. They want to see you at a very high, good position. Trust them. And thirdly, most importantly, believe in yourself because you know what hard work you did. You know what the efforts you took to achieve something. And you will always get the fruits of your goal. So my dear friends, 1 week later, I again had to, on one Wednesday, I had to write the exam again. This time, I was confident. I wrote the paper very well and got good grades in it. And so that day, I realized the power of hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aniru. I could see most of the audience smiling looked like they were thinking about their time when they sat in the examination hall writing their college papers. Great. There are many things exams teaches us, so does life. Now, getting back to the theme, let's talk about the mothers who were there just before these years. Mothers who were either working or who did a 10 to 5 job. They were managing kids. So how did they manage life? So does anyone want to talk about their working mother? I'll probably call upon Toastmaster Abhilash.
Sorry?
So I was asking about your mother. What did she do? How did she manage home, taking care of you, working?
All right. So see, taking care of a kid is not an easy job. And I came as a +1 package. I had a twin sister as well. So it was not an easy job at all coming together. I mean, taking care of us, she actually stopped going to work because we were quite a handful. I mean, in those young days, me and my sister used to be very violent with each other, pillows flying, even utensils used to fly. That was how so we used to fight. So she had to take care of us full time. She sacrificed a lot for us, and what do I say? She sacrificed her entire career so that we could come to the position that we are in. And now, if my sister and I are well settled, I think everything goes to my mother, the way she took care of us and nurtured us.
That's lovely, Abhilash. I'm sure that's something that you'll always carry in your heart, the sacrifice that your mom made, especially with her career. I'll also request Toastmaster Arun to say a few words about his mother.
My mother is everything to me because I'm kind of in loss of words describing about my mother because she's everything to me. We are only 2 members in our family. My father passed away a decade back, so after that, only me and my mother. So whatever I want to talk, inside the family, we want to discuss anything, we want to make a decision, and how the family, if we want our family to take to next level, any kind of collaboration, any kind of discussion, everything my mom and I does. So she's more of a friend to me, and she know every one of my friend. And she, I would like to have, one quality of my mother I would like to say about this thing. Because when I'm kind of an extreme introvert from my childhood, so every one of a parent asked a child to come home early, sit, do the homework, and spend your time at home. This kind of encouragement, or this kind of the words the parents used to give. But my mom used to always say that go out of your home, go out of our home, play with other kids, and make friends. Friends or family, these kind of this is kind of another extreme which the general parent used to give. So such a kind of mother I'm having. So I'm kind of a blessed person to have my mother. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Really lovely, Toastmaster Arun. The way you say that and the conviction, you could really feel how much your mother is supportive and that she's a pillar of your strength. Lovely. So looking at this generation of mothers were the first set of people to go to work. So the work back then was not as terrible probably as today. The work probably did not involve too much of mental stress. Though those were jobs which are more like a 10 to 5 job, but still the catch there was these mothers were taking care of both the cooking, going to office, the kids, and the role of grandparents became very prominent, where grandparents were primarily taking care of kids. So these mothers were very efficient. Yeah, these mothers were very efficient, trying to manage many things in their hand. Now it's time to get into the next segment, having discussed this. So the next segment, for the sake of guests, we saw prepared speeches, right? Now we are going to see totally unprepared speeches, where we have a table topic master coming onto the stage and giving the participants a topic to speak on. So for this, our table topic master for today is another college-going student, Toastmaster Shruti. To say a few words about Toastmaster Shruti, she enjoys doing calligraphy and doodle because she finds art very therapeutic. The moment I read that line, I could really feel the connection of what she really meant. And one thing when I asked her about her mother, so one striking quality that she learned from her mother is to always be there for the loved ones, no matter what. That is something what a mother always does. So now let me hand over the stage to Toastmaster Shruti. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhirami, for the introduction. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good evening, everyone, and happy Mother's Day to everyone. So one of the most exciting portions of Toastmasters meeting is the table topic session. The main objective is to challenge members to develop their impromptu communication skills to effectively think on their feet by answering unrehearsed questions. So we also want to give each member an opportunity at each meeting. So we do this with each and every table topic session. Table topic session is specifically designed to develop 4 essential communication skills: listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. So today, as your table topic master, I'll be calling upon a few members to speak related to the theme today. And your response must be at least 1 to 2 minutes, at least 1 minute and not more than 2 minutes. So let's get started. And I also encourage each member speaking to use the word of the day. So I have few volunteers, so let's start with them. So the first one is Toastmaster Abhilash.
Yes, Toastmaster.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Good, doing good. How are you?
I'm good too. So, okay, your table topic question is, if all animals can speak and if you have to give a gift to your mother, if you have to gift an animal to your mother, what would that animal be?
Thank you. A very warm good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. What would I gift if I could gift an animal to my mother that could speak? All right, this brings back very fond memories. Let me tell you of one particular story that really touched my heart. Back when my mom was young, she used to tell me she had a very cute little dog. That dog used to be very loyal to her and used to follow her all around wherever she used to go. And she used to tell me with such pride, when that dog came home, when my mom came home, the dog used to wag its tail and jump on her and, clasp its paws around her. And she used to feel so much happiness. However, her day had been till then, when she sees that greeting of the dog, she used to get a renewed sense of warmth. But that dog had a very tragic accident. It passed away because a two-wheeler hit it on the road one day. And then that evening when my mom came home, she missed that warmth. Then she got to know that the dog had passed away. And since then, she's been having that small hole in her heart. Where is that dog? So let me tell you, if I do want to gift an animal to my mother that could speak, I would wish for nothing more but that dog to come. And that would be the gift that I would give to my mother, because even now she recounts the way that dog used to come, and the way she loved that relationship with her dog. And I'm sure if I could give that to her, there would be nothing more, a far greater gift than this on Mother's Day. Thank you for that topic. It brought me a lot of memories flooding back to me. Back to you, table topic master.
Indeed, everyone is a dog lover, Abhilash. So moving on to the next member, Geeta ma'am, Toastmaster Geeta ma'am.
Yeah, hi, Toastmaster Shruti.
Hi, ma'am. So if you have to represent your mother as a flower, which flower would you choose?
Yes, good evening to one and all present here. Friends, my mom is very fond of the rose flower. So in fact, when we were in E-Road, there were so many times we have tried to buy these rose plants and try to grow them in our garden. But it's always happened that, we were always invaded by these goats. You just happen to close the gate, forget to close the gate, And then these goats used to enter our house. It was an independent house. We had a beautiful garden just behind our house. They silently creep to our garden and they would finish away the rose plants. After a point, my mother was so very dejected that she said, neither the tulsi plant is growing in our garden, nor am I able to nurture these rose plants. And after a point, she just decided to give up on nurturing these two plants. Of course, we have big trees, we have coconut trees, we have a badam tree in our garden. They all are nurtured, well nurtured, and they are giving us a lot of fruits. But this one thing, having this rose plant in our house, is something that she really wishes to. So as a token of gift on the Mother's Day, on the occasion of this Mother's Day, I would definitely want to gift my mother a rose plant, because right now she is in Bangalore and they have actually covered their balcony with all the nets and all that. I'm sure it is not going to get invaded or anything, and she'll have wonderful blooms in our house. So that's exactly what I'm going to gift my mom.
That's amazing. So the next member would be Toastmaster Aniru.
Hello.
Hello, hello. So if you have to attend a costume party tonight, what would it be? What would your costume be?
Well, if I were to attend a costume party tonight, then I would say I would just wear the costume of Batman. Let me tell you why. Whenever he used to adorn that Batman role, he had an important memory in his mind. The way his parents affected him. Importantly, on how his mother, she used to always guide him when he was a very small kid. And we, as you all who have seen Batman here, you all know how much his parents that affected him, and how he always felt that his reason, he was the reason why something happened to his parents. So that affection that he had towards his parents, mainly to his mother, that is a very important thing. And because the occasion of Mother's Day today, I would say I would adorn the role of Batman.
Yeah, even I love Batman. Even I got a t-shirt of Batman. So moving on to the next member, it's Toastmaster Gandhi.
Hi, Toastmaster Shruti.
Hello, Mr. Gandhi. So your question today is, what food does your mom love that you find a little odd?
What food my mom loved?
Food.
That I found. Food, okay. Food my mom loved, which I found odd. It's yesterday's rice filled with water, and you keep it the whole day, and then you serve the next day. It's called ice biryani in a comical way. So yes, and these days it's been also served in some hotels, if I'm correct, like Palida. Yes, it's very good for health, and during these summer days, I would also encourage everyone to have this food. It's kind of a coolant for the body, and I guess it provides the equal proteins and vitamins that you could find in any diet food. So yes, please treat your family, and I could see some mothers out here. Please nurture your kid with this ice biryani, and make your kids more healthy with good stamina to face this, the new world brought by COVID. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Shruti.
Thank you, Gandhi. And next person would be Shrikant sir, Shrikant Puttikrishnan sir. Hello, sir. This is quite a serious topic which is going on right now. So since we are all experiencing scorching summer this year, and we also know that it is because of climate change. We hear it in the articles, news, and everywhere. So what is your take on climate change?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Thank you very much for the wonderful topic. See, I always believe that one half of the world goes without sunlight for almost 9 to 10 months. and they're craving for sunlight. And here in India, where we have tropical climate that we are having almost a summer, 9 to 10 months in a year. So what really matters is how we look at the sunshine and make the best out of it. We are so fortunate that Indians have the best skin tone in the entire world because we get vitamin D very easily. And also, if we can harness the sunlight to get some renewable energy, solar power, it is a great thing that you as an youngster can think about and give back to the society what we really need. And one thing that we can do to make this place a better environment and for the society is that we should start growing trees. How many of us have ever thought about planting a tree on every good occasion that we have in our family? It's your birthday, your parents' birthday, anything for that matter. If you can plant a tree and not just turn away from that, nurture it, see that it grows to a decent height, and see what benefit that trees are going to have. If you can't grow a tree, at least a few potted plants in the sill of your windows, you can have. These small things, if we can do, the environment will be a better place. And also, the last thing that I want to remind each one of you is, please turn off your mobile data when you're not using it. Most of us keep that on. And when you do that, you're draining the battery, which needs to be replaced, and you're going to buy a new battery, not finding a way how to dispose the old ones. Small things makes a big impact. It is there within you. Don't go for anything that is beyond your control. Everything that you can do is there within you. Make a change and see the world becomes more prosperous because we have literally borrowed this planet Earth from the generation that is following us. So we owe to give them a better place, not something they would regret coming to living and to leave. All the very best and back to you.
Thank you. That's very valuable. And
just a request, please avoid calling workplace and more guests.
Okay, okay. So now we'll be moving on to the guests. First guest would be guest Chandu. Okay. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Toastmaster. I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. I'm good too. So your question for table topic today is, if you had to live in another country, where would that be and why?
Well, thank you. Thank you for the topic, Toastmaster Shruti. And to address about the country that I want to live, provided that India is not here, which would definitely be my preference. So the country that is comparatively closer to me is Spain. And provided this particular topic is being given to me, and this particular country is just popped in my mind, I'll tell you the relation between it. So there were times I used to think that things not going well. And there were moments when I used to think that I need some kind of getter. And all of a sudden, my friends used to call me and we used to go to our common room in our university where they would be going this football match. So the telecasting of this football match is something which we always enjoy irrespective of what happens around. And whenever a match happens in Spain, the environment around the entire stadium, not just the stadium, is something which motivates everyone, not just your favorite team or not just the highest earning team, no matter how small the team is. You see the passion in the people's eyes. You see the passion they have for the crest and all. So this is something that you don't actually find elsewhere, no matter how motivated you are towards any other thing. So that passion is something which has always kept me avoiding towards the issues that I should not be having in my life, right? So these kind of issues that were creating problems to me were totally suppressed by the environment that Spain has provided me during those 90 minutes. Spain is one such country which has always had a beautiful corner in my heart. So no matter what country I'm a resident of or what environment I would prefer, Spain is something that I would definitely love to be in for some time. Thank you for
Thank
the
you, guest.
opportunity, Toastmaster Shruti.
Even I love Spain. Thank you. So the next guest would be guest Harini. Are you there? Okay, moving on. Guest Selvi. Yes, Selvi. Okay, moving on. Guest Karthik.
Hi.
Hello, guest Karthik. Hello. So,
how are you? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Karthik. Yes, you are. So, your question would be, what is the best piece of advice you got from your mother?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So the best piece of advice I would say is not to be afraid. When I do any new things, I feel more curious and a little bit stressed. So I feel like I have to improve on pressure management. Recently, I spoke regarding that to my mother, and one of the suggestions that I got is, not to be afraid. So two things can happen: either I can mess up and fail in the things which I'm trying, or else I can do better and I can succeed in it. So fearing won't do any good in that. So that is the best piece of advice which I got from my mother, I would say. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Karthik. So the last guest would be guest Ramani Balasubramanian. Are you there? Anybody? Yeah. Thank you for coming. So your topic would be, what was your least favorite food as a child? Do you still hate it? And why?
I don't know about that much of the school names. I have studied in private school in Kallakurichi. At the time, there was only 2 schools for competition, which is a big school. So AKT matriculation, the school name, that was our private school.
Okay. Thank you. And anybody would like to volunteer? Okay, that's wrapping up this session. And thank you for Hello, guest Argason. I hope I spelled your name correctly.
PT Master.
Hello.
Yes, a quick check with the timer. Are we up?
Do we still have
time? Maybe we can give one chance to one guest.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, guest Argason.
Yes, I'm Renuka Parameshwari Argason.
Okay. So, your table topic would be, what is the strangest food you have ever eaten?
I could not get clearly, ma'am.
What is the strangest food you have ever eaten?
Maybe you can change the topic.
Maybe I can change.
Yeah, strangest food I have ever eaten.
Yes.
Yeah, it was, good evening to all the Toastmasters and the guests. And it was the strangest food I have ever eaten was burger. Actually, it was very first time I had a burger in Bangalore in one of the malls. I could not remember it. Actually, while eating itself, I felt it was not good, and might be what I'm speaking might be hurting to someone, but really I felt it was very bad. I did not like it, and I had some green leaves in between, and it was not that interesting for me, and it was like biting some raw material, and I could not accept it. But still, one of my good friends took me to that restaurant, and I was supposed to eat. No way I was supposed to eat, and I had it, and I could get the same kind of sensation throughout the day. And the next day, what happened was I felt ill, and I had complete diarrhea and vomiting, and I was hospitalized after eating that food. That thing I could not forget at all. Even later, I got practice to have it once in a while, but that was the first time. I do not know why I hate it. Thank you.
So sorry for you. Okay, wrapping up this session. Thank you for the opportunity. Moving on to General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster, TT Master Shruti, for a fantastic TT session. I'm sure all the speakers had a really good experience. We had a wide range of topics covering mother to burger. So that was indeed great. So now getting back onto the theme for the day. So looking at the mothers of today. So I know most of you will have colleagues who are working mothers, who will have cousins who are working mothers. What do you think about the working mothers of today? How do you think they are managing, juggling? Does anyone want to say their experience, share their experience? Maybe I'll ask Toastmaster Ashwini to say a few words. Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Abhirami.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for giving me this topic, Toastmaster Abhirami. Now, being a mother is one of the richest as well as one of the most, hard experiences, difficult experience every mother can encounter. Being a working woman, we have to really manage the family as well as manage the household and have all the working things running in your mind at the background whenever you're working. I remember, leaving my small baby at work and going to the work the first day, and I was crying like, I was literally flooding my entire treatment room, and I had to stop my patients and saying that I need a break before I could start. So it was such an emotional thing that was happening. And then next, after a few days, I was pretty confident that, hey, my baby will do fine, and it is all right for me. And I was just working throughout the day, and it was pretty all right. As the time goes on, we become confident of ourselves as well as the baby. We know that they will do just fine, and we'll also do just fine. And it's a good, it's a very emotional as well as it's a good feeling to be a mother. Yeah, thank you, Abhirami, for giving me this topic.
That's really lovely, Ashwini, for sharing your candid experience. Ashwini is a mother of 2 kids, and she's a dentist. So I couldn't think of anyone who could give me, an answer from their heart, and that's what Ashwini did. So most women today are working, and they take the break to have kids and again go back to work. So this process makes the mothers somewhere guilty, confused whether they're doing the right thing. And of course, I think we should thank all the men out there who are very supportive. I think people are able to go back to work, manage so many things because the fathers have stepped up. So gone are the days when during the early man times when the father went out to hunting and the women were sitting at home and taking care of the kids. Now the father is there, mother is there, everyone is sharing the responsibilities. And I think that's what has made mothers enjoy working and also have the motherhood. So now with this, it's time to get back to hear from our General Evaluator, evaluations on the meeting today. Over to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Srikanth.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. Well, it was mother, mother, everywhere there is a mother, and so wonderfully that you have explained. And also there is an unsung hero in every family and every child's life. And I'm sure it's the father who plays a vital role. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the way that you have put across your thoughts and emotions. Having said that, now we go to the most important, rather all the events in today's meeting are important. Here is what you're going to hear about the feedback of the entire meeting. To begin with, we are going to hear from the speech evaluator. We had one speaker today, and the speech has been evaluated by Toastmaster Vignesh. I request Toastmaster Vignesh to give his speech evaluation. Over to you, Toastmaster Vignesh.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Shrikant Kutikrishnan, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and special good evening to my target speaker, Toastmaster Aniru. Toastmaster Aniru's speech was really wonderful, well-organized speech. I really loved, enjoyed his speech. Even every audience in the meeting could feel that speech was very wonderfully narrated, and it was a very good opening, how he suffered from COVID, how he nurtured himself from COVID and planned the exams, and how he tackled the exams. It was a very good opening body conclusion. Really loved the speech narration. For the and a few things which I really loved in his speech was he had a very good body language. When he talked about last month he prepared a lot of lessons, so he actually showing last month this hand gesture, so it really effective hand gestures, which I feel, and a lot of lessons. He had a very good strong hand gestures, so it was really wonderfully he brought out. And when he talked about he prepared for the exams from come down from heaven to earth, so he had a hand gestures like this, so it was really very good. It make us to feel the actual situations, and when he uses the props, the book, it really brought out the exam feel to the audience. So I really love that part on from Toastmaster Anirudh. And a few recommendations is I feel the vocal variety is not effectively conveyed. So when he talked about the exam was dry, so he should say like the exam was really dry. So the facial expressions as well as the stress on the when you feel bad about it, you could have stress on that. It was very dry. So if you add like that, it will be more effective on the vocal variety. And when you suffered from corona, you could have 2-second pause. I suffered from corona. Like, so you have to express the bad about it, that situation. The voice would be conveyed even better if you do like that. And when the computer organization exam, the third question was very easy, and when he feel about happy, that time the happy should express in facial as well. I was very happy, so that facial expression missed in the speech. So apart from that, it was very well narrated speech. I really loved the speech, and and yeah, how you tackle, and you also add a personal experience in that content, so it was very well narrated. So in a nutshell, you had a very good body language, very good hand gestures, and you stand up and talk. It was really appreciable. And the recommendations part is work on more on the facial expressions and vocal variety. So add pauses wherever required, and add stress wherever it required on the particular highlighting situations. That's all. It was really a wonderful speech. I'm expecting more speech from Toastmaster Aniru. Over to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Shrikant.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vignesh. And now it's time to hear from our timer. I request Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana to present his report on the timing of each speaker and the role players. Over to you, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Shrikant Kutikrishnan. Let me share the timer report with you. Okay. To begin with, we had our education session, and after that we had a prepared speeches. The prepared speech was for the time between 5 to 7 minutes, but Anirudh completed it in 5 minutes 28 seconds. And and then the table topic session, the table topic master took 1 minute 4 seconds for the initial speeches, and then the table topic speakers, the Toastmaster Abhilash took 1 minute 48 seconds. Out of the 1 to 2 minutes allocated time. Toastmaster Geeta took 1 minute 30 seconds. Toastmaster Aniru took 52 seconds. And Toastmaster Gandhi took 1 minute 1 second. Toastmaster Srikanth Kutikrishnan took 1 minute 55 seconds. Guest Shandu took 2 minutes 8 seconds. Guest Karthik took 57 seconds. Guest Ramani took 37 seconds. And guest Renuka Parameswari took 1 minute 50 seconds. Coming to the evaluation part, our Toastmaster Vignesh took 3 minutes 5 seconds to complete the evaluation in allocated time of 2 to 3 minutes. And with that, I hand over the control back to the general evaluator. Over to you, Toastmaster Srikanth Kutikrishnan.
Thank you very much, Lakshmi Narayana. Now it's time to hear from our counter. I request Toastmaster Geeta to present her report of the number of R's and Ums that have been used during today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Geeta.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Srikanth. Yes, good evening once again to one and all present here. I should say that we had a really very awesome meeting. We had minimal use of the R's and Ums in our speech. For instance, our Toastmaster Abhirami and our, in fact, I should congratulate Toastmaster Aniru also. It was like he was giving us a prepared speech with very minimal filler words being used in the speech. Probably he used a and a couple of times. The same goes with Toastmaster Abhirami as well. She had very minimum use of filler words. And apart from that, we also had a prepared speech. Toastmaster Aniru also had very minimal use. Probably once you would have used and so congratulations again to all of you. Yes, that's how our Toastmaster Abhilash started his talk when Toastmaster Abhirami had asked him to talk about his mother. So probably I should bring that to your notice, Toastmaster Abhilash. Probably you could have started it a little differently. And Toastmaster Abhilash also had a repetition, and he also went on to ask us, now, what do I say? So I don't know whether I should count this as a filler word or how exactly it goes about. Well, maybe you can work on yourself regarding this aspect, Toastmaster Abhilash. We also, yes, a word of caution to Toastmaster Shruti as well. I noticed that every time you were giving us a topic or giving anybody a topic, you were using the word so. It was like almost for all the table topics, you were saying so, and then you were giving them the topic. Probably you can work on that aspect as well. And we also had Toastmaster Karthik, who also used a couple of filler words. Probably a word of caution to Karthik as well. You were using quite a lot of times. Every time you were conveying a message or your sentences were too big that you went on to say most of the time. So you can work on that as well. Toastmaster Srikanth, as usual, you beat the flawless. You had no filler words. That's really, again, wonderful on your part. I've noticed that it's not the first time it's happening. So many times I've noticed that you've come out without filler words. Probably we should all work on ourselves. Yes, we also had guest Karthik, who also used a lot of times You can also work on yourself. Guest Ramani also had Ums and Ahs. Probably you can also work on yourself. Toastmaster Ashwini also had a minimum use of and Ahs. Maybe you must have used once or twice. You can also work on yourself so that you come out flawless the next time. On the whole, it was a wonderful meeting, and I really enjoyed listening to Ahs and Ums. With this, I think I should hand over the control to you, Toastmaster Abhilash, Toastmaster Srikanth.
Thank you very much, our counter, Toastmaster Geeta. Now it's time to hear from our grammar teacher, grammarian, who's being taken up by Toastmaster Ashwini. I request Toastmaster Ashwini to give her report as a grammarian.
Thank
Over
you,
to you, Toastmaster Ashwini. Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srikanth. So this was a wonderful meeting, and there was minimal usage of inappropriate English words. Toastmaster Abhirami had used the good usages of word were used. She had used the word spackle, and Toastmaster Srikanth had used the word of the day nurture once, and the good usage I noticed was the word holistic. Toastmaster Geeta had used the good usage as word minimalistic. Toastmaster Aniru gave a wonderful speech, and he used the word of the day once, and the good usages were formidable and the word fighting chance. Toastmaster Abhilash had used this sentence, renewed sense of warmth and flooding. I like these two sentences in a speech. Toastmaster Geeta had used word of the day thrice in her table topic speech, and she had used token of gift. I like this sentence. Toastmaster Gandhi had used the word of the day once, and he used new world brought by COVID. Toastmaster Shrikant used word of the day once. Guest Chandu had used beautiful corner in my heart. Toastmaster Vignesh had used word of the day once, and he used the word nutshell. And instead of saying I does, the Toastmaster or the guest can say we do rather than saying I does. So this is my crisp report for the grammarian. And thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Shrikant Krishnan.
Thank you very much, grammarian, for that very crisp and precise report. And here goes my report. And to be very frank with you, I've been really scratching my head to find any room for improvement in today's meeting, but I could hardly find any to begin with. So here are the good things that I would like to share with you. Sergeant at Arms, as usual, bang on time, 4 p.m. We started the meeting. He had the core values explained to us. Presiding officer, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, I like the story that you shared about a son who wanted to make or bake a cake for his mom and how she in turn baked it for him. Wonderful. It was very heartwarming and truly inspiring. And the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abhirami, what I really enjoyed listening to you is that you compared mothers as angels on this planet Earth and how they are like sun around whom the entire satellite or the cosmos is revolving. Every one of us are revolving around our mothers. That was very well done. And I also like to appreciate the way our DTM, Venu Neelagandan, I need to talk a few lines more about distinguished Toastmaster Venu Neelagandan. What I truly admired about this education session is that it was a value-added service, not only for the Toastmasters who are present here today in today's meeting, but for the entire guest. You made it so simple and so interesting that anybody who had listened to your presentation, how we can achieve that coveted position of distinguished Toastmaster, would never think twice to sign up with CTM and pursue the path to becoming a distinguished Toastmaster like you, because CTM, Chennai Toastmasters, is always known as the ATM for DTMs. Very well done. I would request each one of you to unmute your audio and give a big round of applause to distinguished Toastmaster Venu Neelagandan. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Venu Neelagandan. We appreciate your time in your busy schedule and being with us. Thank you once again. And the CT Master, it was something that I really enjoyed, because what really interesting about the table topic master was that she started off by giving the topic to senior Toastmasters so that the guests would feel comfortable of how a table topic session is being held and how they can handle the questions or the topics that are being given to them. The evaluator, we had one speaker, and the evaluation done by the evaluator also was very precise. I like the way the commendations and the recommendations were given, and also I like how he gave a sense of confidence and a hope to a new Toastmaster like Aniru that he can improvise and become a better speaker. That was really done. It shows the profound thinking and where the recommendations need to be given so that the speaker would be able to accept it and incorporate in his future speeches. And my tag team, brilliant effort by the tag team. The timer was spot on every minute. It's something that you need to be really concentrated. Even a second, you cannot take your mind off the clock that you have in front of you. Even if there is some important thing that you need to attend between the meeting, it is very difficult. It goes for all the three of them, the timer, our counter, and the grammarian. Timer was absolutely wonderful, and the R counter, listening to the every word. Let me tell you, it needs a lot of patience and perseverance. Thank you very much, R counter, for your commitment and being dedicated to listen to the entire meeting and keeping track of all the R's and Ums. Very well done. And the grammarian, here is the teacher who thinks that we can improve and tell us where we need to improvise all, there is one suggestion that I would like to give, because I opened my presentation by saying it was very difficult. In fact, it's difficult for any general evaluator to find room for improvement in a CTA meeting, because the professionalism, the commitment, the hard work that goes into every detail of the meeting is on full display today. And if at all, if there can be any improvement, it would be that a dual role by any of the ExCom would be not something that I would like to see, but someone else to take up. Having said that, I open my statement by saying all that I am and all that I hope to be, I owe it to my mother. Please join me. I have the pride and the privilege to introduce to each one of you the person who I admire, who has brought me from nowhere to somewhere in my life. Please join me in wishing my mother a very happy and prosperous Mother Day. Please join me. My mother is next to me. She's coming here. And I want you to meet my mother, and I want you to introduce you to her. I know she's feeling a little embarrassed because she's been taking rest. I asked her to get up and come and meet you. Please say hi to my mother. Hi. Yeah. Hi.
Hello, Ma.
Namaste, Amma.
Hi.
This is the person who taught me that even the worst goes before you. Never give up in your life. She used to tell me something in Malayalam, in English, which literally means that you have to be a lion sometimes, though there is a sheep hiding within you. You have to be tough. She raised a family, having lost her husband at a very young age. And here I am. I owe it to my mother. Thank you very much. And back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Shrikant. That is really touching. I'm sure all the members were able to connect. Now, getting back to closing our Mother's Day piece. I'll close with a scientific fact. Now, when we look at the intelligence quotient, research shows that intelligence quotient is more linked to the X chromosome rather than the Y chromosome. So that indirectly means that the intelligence that we derive is more linked to the mother, because the mother has a higher chance of passing on the intelligence rather than the father. So the eligible bachelors out here to whom we were talking about Mother's Day all through. So for the future, when you're planning your life and for your kids, always look for a very intelligent mother, because that's what your kids are going to get. So with this fact or a fun fact, I will hand over the controls for today to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Lakshmi. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abhirami. This is yet another wonderful and very interesting meeting, and the theme, like the ever-evolving mother, was well suited for the day, and you carried it in the right way, asking the right relevant questions to all the members. Though it looked like a informal tabletop session for me, it was an excellent way of running the show. Thank you so much for it. And I just want to tell a small story before, I know it's we're running time, okay. Since we are talking about the Mother's Day, I heard a story about Mahatma Gandhi. I don't know the relevance or authenticity of the story, but I still want to let you know the story here. It was once like Gandhi was staying in a meeting. He used to travel along with his wife at his later stage of life. So his wife, name is Kasturba, used to call, he used to refer her as Ba always time. The host was running this meeting when he referred like he welcomed Gandhi and his mother. He thought Ba is nothing Ma and thought that is Kasturba is a mother. So somewhere in the meeting he mentioned her as the mother of Gandhi, and everyone in the meeting was shocked. They don't know how Gandhi is going to react on that part. But later Gandhi was very cool. Later when his turn came, he said that whatever the host mentioned is nothing wrong. What he said about Ba, his mother, is very true, because after some stage, the wife becomes a mother, more than a mother, and she serves more than what the mother can do. So I truly accept when you call my wife as a mother. So I just want to mention this here, so whoever is married, that's one part we need to always think. Mother need not be always in the form of who gave us birth. It could be anyone who's giving a motherly care to any person, to even to animals. And it's happy. I once again wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. And with that, I think I will get to the end of the meeting. And before that, I just want to recognize the first time role player, Toastmaster Shruti, for taking up the table topic session for the first time. Congratulations, Toastmaster Shruti, for running an excellent table topic session. And now it's as the polls are running right now, so I think it's time to get to guest feedback. Shall we move on to the guest who's the first time guest to give your feedback? Let's start with our guest Ramani. Guest Ramani, can you unmute yourself and give a quick feedback about this meeting? Guest Ramani, let's move on to guest Ambaji. Guest Ambaji, are you there? No, are you here now? Okay. So guest Saravanan. Yes, Saravanan, are you available? No. Guest Selvi, are you available?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving me this opportunity to tell about today's session. Actually, it was a nice session to hear about pathways in the club, and that's about it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. For any membership related questions, you can always reach out our VP membership, Deepak Thompson. I'll message you his number as well. So guest Raja Balaji, are you there?
Hi, Toastmaster. I joined this meeting at 5 p.m. only, but I really enjoyed the session. TMOD talked about mother, and our table topic must also connected that theme. I really enjoyed. I like the way our tag team presented the presentation. Each and every slide was crisp, and I also appreciate our general evaluator to bring his mother in front of the screen. I really enjoyed this session really very more. I'm looking forward to come to this meeting. How do you?
Thank you, guest Rajapalaji. I think we have covered all the guests who are available. For those who are not able to unmute yourself, don't worry, I'll publish the membership number. Yes, already there. Okay. So please contact your VP membership, Deepak Thompson, for any membership related queries. And thank you so much. And now it's time for to announce our results. And to begin with, the best table topics speaker is our Toastmaster Abhilash. Congratulations, Toastmaster Abhilash. And the best tag player between timer, accountant, and grammarian is myself, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. I appreciate myself. And the best role player today is between the general evaluator and the Toastmaster of the day. It's Toastmaster Abhirami. Congratulations, Toastmaster Gandhi. And we had just one speaker. I appreciate him. Congratulations to Toastmaster Aniru. And I thank our educational session speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Vinay for taking up his time and explaining us in detail how to pursue and learn DTM Distinguished Toastmasters. And with that, we are coming to the end of this meeting. I formally adjourn the meeting for the next week on 15th May. Thank you. And let's start the informal discussion.